We are live. We are live with now. Carl, since she's humming and she's humming now, so I'm gonna need you to do the Ray dance with me.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm a little more
Thank you, sir. That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you, Cindy, for that. All right, welcome, guys. Here we go. Is this the outro, the intro, new intro?
I don't know where this is coming from.
I kind of like this. Oh yeah, we are with the Goose Troop, Monday Goose Troop, otherwise known as a goose, a pinch, and a squeeze.
Yes.
Guys, how has your week been, Cindy? I know I always start with you. I'm going to say, Carl, as we guess often, I'm going to say, like the Steelers, you're on a losing streak. What say you, Carl?
Ooh, I
I
didn't
think
know
she,
that it could happen.
I think she
It's
lost
been
like the
win-win-win
Steelers.
all year long. So
You think she won this week?
true, Cindy. The Steelers not doing so well.
They're horrible.
The Steelers won yesterday,
Oh,
so they're
Really?
not on a streak at the moment.
Okay. So they
They
won.
won.
So did Cindy, did you win in your fantasy? I'm going to say you lost. I'm going to say you got a big, put an L on that list. I think you're 6-3, 6-4 now, or whatever. What say you, Carl? What say you?
I always have to take the opposing thing, so I'm going to go with win, win, win.
Yeah, why do you always make me look like the jerk? Why don't you take
I'm
the
just
lead in one
lucky.
week?
Oh,
I'm really good at fantasy football. It's the secret to it.
Well, you are a good luck charm for her, I think. Cindy, what happened this week? What did you do with your fantasy football this week?
presently I am 7-2, and then I have not found out if I won, but I'm up by 60 points,
Oh, wow.
and she has two people to play, and I have one person to play tonight. Mine's a kicker, so I won't get much.
Okay. So she's got 3 people to play, and you got 1.
No, she's got two. I have
Two?
one.
Oh, I like your odds. I kind of like your. I mean, unless it's a quarterback and another.
It's not a
skilled running
quarterback.
back.
It's not a running back.
Okay, then
It's
you're in.
probably most likely it's a flex, I think, and maybe a wide receiver.
Oh, you're in. I mean, Jerry Rice is retired. You don't have to worry about that. I mean, long gone are the days of Chad Johnson and Jerry Rice and those guys. Long gone.
It's not Tyreek Hill, thank goodness. So we don't have to worry about somebody scoring 40.
Someone scoring 3 touchdowns in one game. Someone like him.
Yeah.
Why the Chiefs gave him up, I'll never know. But Carl, how has your week been, sir?
My week's been very good. I'm finally making some progress on my book again, so that's great.
Oh, he has. I'm gonna say that you read one chapter. One chapter. What say you, Cindy?
Do you have the book there so we can take a measure?
I say, oh wow.
Oh, there's some progress. You're almost about halfway or a little past halfway.
Halfway.
Maybe he read 3
Oh.
chapters. I'll say 3 chapters.
It's going great. The fire is
Good.
lit again.
All right.
Good, buddy. Good.
Good.
On today's Goose Troop, a goose pinch and a squeeze, we're going to have some things that I wanted to talk about for a while, actually. Something that I notice every time I walk into a restaurant, things that you would notice, the little critiques that you do as from the time you walk into a restaurant, from the time that you leave, okay? Things that you have noticed. And if there's things that I missed, perhaps you guys could point them out for me, that things that maybe you noticed that maybe I wouldn't notice, or maybe I didn't mention. All right. Starting off, so I just put restaurant critique, from top to bottom. All right. When you first walk into the restaurant, what are things that when you first walk in, Cindy and Carl? I'll start with Cindy, you first. All right. For me, it was greeted and or seated. Were you greeted at the door, and were you seated immediately? Right. I mean, from the time you first walk in, what are you guys thinking? From the time you first walk in, what is your first observation? What you're first noticing? Would you
Yeah,
say?
you have to notice how friendly the staff is and whether or not you're getting your table, or whether
Right?
you
Whether
have to
you're
wait
greeted,
out for a while.
right? Yeah. So whether
Right.
you're greeted, right, guys, whether you're greeted and or seated at that time. And sometimes, the restaurant's busy, right? Taking consideration, sometimes the restaurant's busy. So you're not going to be seated right away, right? Okay.
It's true.
Right. So look, at least you're greeted, at least you're acknowledged, right? In some fashion. Hey, thank you for coming in. How many? Go ahead, Cindy. Go ahead.
Another thing you might notice even before you get in is how crowded it is outside. So you're already wondering, do I want to go in? If the
Oh, yeah.
parking
That's
lot's
true.
really full, you might say, I ain't got a chance in hell getting in here. But yeah.
Oh, yeah. 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 Especially if it's like some restaurants, there's like waiting outside the door. Now, as it
Yeah.
gets colder, I'm not going to be willing to wait. There's no way. As it
Right.
gets colder, I'm not going to stand outside like these fools. No way in heck am I going to do that. I can go grab my cheeseburger somewhere else. All right. So
That's
for me,
true.
you're right. So if the first thing that you notice is the parking lot, correct? You would notice the parking lot first
Yeah.
on the parking situation. Okay. Next, you'd be saying greeted and or seated. All right. Then the third thing, I guess, on this list would be cleanliness of restaurants and or tables or booths, right? That's the second, or the second thing the third thing that you're going to notice, correct? The
Hmm.
That would be.
cleanliness, right?
I
Okay.
would
And
think so. Yeah.
So with that, what is it that you guys are looking for when you walk into a restaurant? What is it you're looking for as far as cleanliness is concerned? Like, are you looking? Is there a napkin on the floor? Have they swept? I mean, what are some things that you're looking at right away when you walk in?
is my table wiped off? Is it sticky? Or
Oh, like
how
you sat
butts
down at
are?
a dirty table. Yeah.
Yeah. Does it look like the last people are still possibly at the table?
Yeah.
That's a real no go.
So for you guys would look at the table first that you're being sat at, not necessarily the restaurant itself. At this point, you're not necessarily looking at the restaurant.
Well,
Um,
I would
I-
probably go ahead, Carl. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I'll usually hone in on my own table pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But
I would.
so whatever table that so you basically pick out your table then, guys. You're saying, okay, I want this table, not this one or this booth or whatever. So you're basically calling out to the greeter or the host or hostess. Okay, I want this one. You kind of, as soon as you walk in, you're like, okay, this is the one I'm sitting in.
As
You
best
kinda-
as you can. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's like sometimes it's like an option thing. Do you want a booth or a table? So usually booth for me because they're a little more enclosed.
Really?
Now, see, I'd rather have a table. For me, it's easier for me to get up from. And then I like the short tables
Mm,
versus the tall tables because they don't always have some place where you put your feet. And mine, I don't like to have mine dangling. Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah, that's uncomfortable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dangling feet, never comfortable.
Yeah, but when you're 5'3", you don't have much option. I mean, you don't have chairs that my feet always
Do you
dangle.
Do you
You don't
like
have an
booths
option.
better, or do you like the tables better for that reason?
Well, again, I like a booth only because I can kind of like, I don't know, because with a chair, people notice your feet are dangling and don't touch the ground. You know what I mean? So
I
when
feel like
I'm,
the booth might have a better dangle ratio.
you think so?
I think, yeah, it feels like it is to me. Do you think
Like
so?
in favor of dangling or in favor of maybe
I think
possibly
it
putting
makes
you.
it's less dangle
Yeah, I do
in
too,
a
because
booth.
you can sit on the edge. You can sit on the edge and put your feet down. Whereas if you're in a chair,
Yeah.
you kind of have to sit back, otherwise you're slouching. You're slouching in a chair. Yeah, you're right.
What would you think of? It wouldn't be so much for you guys, but if they could built in a little step stool inside of her purse so that she could turn it sideways and put her feet on it.
Mm,
Oh, oh,
that's inventive.
yeah, but
It's
a
like
guy wouldn't be able to do that. Like I wouldn't, right? I mean,
you
that's
could bring a
more
duffel bag.
Unless you,
a step stool is what you're trying to say in a nice way. So
No, I feel like a duffel bag full of socks. You just got to bring it with you to dinner, and you can put your feet on it.
like a squatty potty. Someone says in the
well,
chat.
some men are. I notice more and more some men have book bags. especially if they have children, so you could maybe build it into a book bag.
Yeah, I never
Little
got
type
that. I
of,
never well, I guess the book bags for like all the stuff, right? But
yeah.
They might have a laptop or an iPad or something too in there. Who knows?
mm-hmm,
Or book.
mm-hmm.
They might be carrying their voluminous Alan Moore books around.
Do you have to bring things like that when you take the kids out to eat, you and your wife? Do you guys have to bring something to keep their mind busy?
Not really. Not
Like
too much. I
like
wouldn't say at this point.
coloring books aren't necessarily going to cut it at their age. Some restaurants do
No,
coloring books or whatever.
they worked for a good long while. Coloring books were the go-to, but at this point they're developing past that. They can
Mm-hmm.
kind of just eat food.
Got it. Do they engage in conversation with you guys when you're out to eat?
Yeah, I mean, we hang out with them all the time, though. So,
Okay.
I mean, yeah, as
Got
much as people talk to their own families, yeah, I mean, we're always talking to each other, but it might just be about the usual stuff. It's not like a Goose Troop chat.
Yeah.
What is like a Goose Troop chat? I ask you. I'm
It
asking.
is very true.
Okay, so we got the parking lot, right? The first thing you're looking at is the parking lot, all right? You're looking at whether it's busy, whether it's slow, whether what have you. Then the second thing, as you're walking in the door, you're looking at greeted and or seated, correct? And then you're looking at the cleanliness of the table and the restaurant. Okay, are you guys looking to see if there's like place settings at the table on the table, or does that really matter to you whether there is or there isn't?
I don't care as long as I get them before my food arrives. It's like if it comes with the after the menu or whenever the food arrives, I'm fine. But usually it's like a breadstick or something that you're going to eat at the beginning, or like a nacho or some other
Yeah.
finger food. So it's not a deal breaker for me. What about you, Cindy?
I think it's nice if at least you have your silverware and a napkin to start.
Yeah,
At least, at least that. Yeah.
I do too. You need at least a
But
napkin in your.
yeah. That because a lot of times they come up and they ask you for the appetizer, and then you got appetizer and you got nothing to do with it, and then oh yeah, we got to go back and get the stuff. So it's just kind of nice to have that ready to go.
Mhm. Yeah. See, I'm with you, Cindy. In that regards, I'm with you. I'm like, you should have it out on the table. I believe. I know some restaurants don't do that, but I think it's nice to have it on the table because it kind of says to you, like you said, like both of you guys said earlier, the thing that you're looking for when you walk in the door is, hey, how clean is that table that I'm going to be sat at? I'm kind of picking out my own table. So how clean is it? And then that's an indication of whether the table's clean or not, right? If a place setting is on the table, it's a kind of an indication, hey, they brought some attention to that table and, it's set to go, right?
Yeah. Right.
Does make you feel like you're being taken care of.
Yeah, right away. Okay. The next thing is promptness of being introduced to your waiter or waitress. How important is that to you guys? Like I said, after the parking lot, the greeted and seated, cleanliness of table and or restaurant, place settings on table, the promptness of being introduced to your waiter or waitress, like how soon he or she comes over and introduces herself and says, can I start you guys off with some waters, or you need some menus? Should I grab you some menus? Or is it important that you get a menu as you're being seated?
I like to have it right away myself.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So as you're being seated, you want the menu at
Yeah.
that point.
Yes.
Okay. And then how about the promptness of being introduced to your, like when he or she comes over? Like, is that important to you? Like, how long of a time is that? Are you guys willing to wait? Are you willing to wait 4 minutes before someone comes over to your table? Is that too long for someone to come over to your table?
Well,
2
4 or 5
minutes.
minutes.
So four.
That's okay. 4 or 5 minutes. Yeah.
Now understanding how long the I mean, I understand if the restaurant is busy, well then you're going to allow more time, right? Or maybe if they're short staffed. If they're short staffed, you're going to allow more time, correct?
Right.
Definitely, yeah. Or
Yeah.
if you saw there was a line out the door and that sort of a thing.
Yeah.
Maybe
Okay.
they're just super busy.
Yeah, I got it. Got it. Yeah, I got that. Okay. All right. The next thing on this list is this. Well, we mentioned shortness of staff or how busy the restaurant is, but what about did you receive a menu? What if if you don't receive a menu right away, like at this point, let's say the wait staff you got greeted, you got seated, and the wait staff came over and introduced him or herself, and they said, "Let me get you some waters. I'll be right. How many are in your party? Let me get you some waters. Be right back." And at that point, they don't give you a menu. Let's say they don't give you menu and they don't bring back, a place setting, a silverware. At that point, are you critiquing the restaurant at that point, saying, "Okay, I'm going to get bad service from here on out"? I mean, at that point, let's say I'm serious. Like, are you guys saying, "Okay, I can tell right away I'm going to get bad service"? Someone's saying like 5 minute limit, like they'll wait 5 minutes in order to get and then Brad is saying that I ask for a menu. I will ask for a menu. Are there times where you guys go in and you ask for a menu, that you have to ask for a menu?
It's rare. It's rare.
Rarely. Yeah,
Okay.
almost never, I'd say.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good point too, Brad. That's a good point too. He says, can you read what he says there?
Yeah.
Brad,
Bad day or new server.
yeah,
Yeah.
he would. And that's a good. Yeah. That's a good point, I guess. But I mean, all this is stuff that you take into consideration, right? I mean,
Sure.
at this
Sure.
point, we just sat down. We just sat down, and maybe a few minutes into our experience at a restaurant, we've already critiqued the parking lot. We've critiqued whether we're greeted and seated. We're already critiquing how clean the restaurant is, how clean the table is, right? So these are all things that you take in consideration, right, as you're going into this restaurant. Because basically, you do it automatically, whether you think so or not. You're doing it automatically. You're doing this. So I thought it would be interesting to talk about. I wanted to get you guys' opinions and plus the opinions of the chat room. So far, we're all in agreement, right? We're all in agreement so far.
Yeah, we are in agreement.
Okay. Other than you said that you prefer a table, where Cindy and I prefer. Oh no, I'm sorry. Cindy said she prefers a table, and then you and I prefer. What's he doing?
Table fan. We're the booth guys.
Point to your other left. Okay. Your other left.
Wait.
Your other left. That one. Yeah.
Booth.
There you go. There you go. You guys are getting it down, I think.
I'm getting all mixed up today. I'm usually really good, but.
Well, you're usually in the top right corner, aren't you? And then Cindy's at the bottom. That's what happened. That's what happened. That's what's going on.
All
right. So after that point, because this is all stuff, like I said, this is all stuff that you're automatically doing. You don't even really think that you're doing it, but you're automatically doing it. So, and in that, I will go, okay. So then how quickly are you? Go ahead. No, what's up? You chuckled.
Oh, yeah. I just noticed that in the comments, Irene said that Brad is actually Irene.
Yeah.
She's got a couple different names she goes by, I think. Yeah.
And then plus, doesn't she get booted? Doesn't she get booted out of there sometimes? Doesn't they call it?
She has to go to Facebook jail.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Her and Amanda, I think, are the ones in there the most.
Yeah. Serving hard time in the Facebook jail.
Yeah.
What is it? I mean, what do they do when you get Facebook jailed? What is it? They just boot you or something for a while, or they block your accounts? I mean, what does it happen? What happens?
You can watch, but I don't think you can comment.
Oh,
yeah, you can't do any commenting, and then it just depends,
You can't comment even on your own page. You can't even comment or post anything. Is that what they do?
No, on something like this live stuff, you can't. You can't put things. I don't know about your own on your Facebook page. I think you can't, because my cousin he come home and tie one on, and he puts all kinds of stupid shit on there, and you don't see it for about a month. So then he's in Facebook jail again.
No, I like the part that you said he ties one on. You notice that?
Oh, yeah.
That's the part I was chuckling at. The tie one on.
I was laughing. The whole thing was great.
Taiwan on. See, that's the thing I wanted to talk about too. That was one of the topics I had written down from like our first couple shows. Remember, I said we never really got to all the topics I wanted to talk about. So I'm like, well, why not rehash some of this stuff, right?
What,
And
what
that was
Yeah.
one of the things I wanted to talk
specifically?
about. Is all the go ahead, go ahead.
What specifically related to that was the topic?
Well, that's one of those sayings that we say here in America.
Oh,
That maybe overseas they wouldn't know what that is necessarily. Like, they wouldn't
Yeah.
know necessarily what our little sayings
It
and
might
things.
make them wonder, what are you tying on? Who knows?
Yeah,
yeah,
they're like, what are they talking about? Tying their shoes? I mean, to them, they wouldn't
Hmm.
know what we're talking about, but to us, it's always understood. It's understood that Taiwan on means dudes getting loaded, getting drunk.
yeah.
Yeah.
In the United Kingdom specifically, they would say he was getting pissed. It's very
Oh,
confusing. It's like, what? He's
yeah.
angry? No, he wasn't angry. He was having a great time. Well, what are you talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know
because to
that?
us, it's like,
Goose?
oh boy,
Yeah.
isn't Goose real pissy today? Like to us, that means he's in a bad mood. He's in a foul mood, right?
Yeah.
Right.
If we were in England, you'd have tied one on.
Really, that's what that means there. So in England, Goose is pissy. It means he's drunk.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I was talking to a guy from England once about Indian cuisine. Actually, I was like, I tried this stuff called vindaloo the other day. It was really spicy, and he was like, that's what macho pissheads eat." And I was like, "What's this guy talking about?" So I had to
Oh
ask
my
him,
God.
what are you saying?" And he was like, "Oh, people that have had a lot to drink and they're feeling like, very
Oh.
brave about what they're eating." I was like,
Tough
"Okay,
guy,
Mhm.
yeah.
yeah,
Macho.
tough guy."
What do you say?
Macho
Macho
pisshead.
pissy?
He called them a
Huh?
pisshead. I guess that's a person that's had a lot to drink.
Oh, wow.
And
But if I called you a pisshead, Cindy, isn't that insulting? Like,
that
wouldn't you be
sounds
Yeah.
really
insulted? Cindy,
bad.
you're a real pisshead. Isn't that like?
Yeah.
I'd be saying like you're a real B. You're right.
Mm.
To us, that'd be like you're a real bitch, Cindy. If I
Yeah.
called you a pisshead, like what are you saying? So that's the stuff that I wanted to talk about. Perhaps we can talk about that next week. I got, like I said, I got a bunch of stuff written down on that, but it's topics we haven't gotten to. But I know that the restaurant critiquing so far has been stimulating, right, guys? If nothing else,
It's got our juices flowing. You can
it
tell
has it.
too.
Has it really? Has it
Well,
really?
obviously, look at us. We're
Uh,
all lit up.
lit up. You all pissy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm having a drink, but it's just caffeine.
It's one of those iced coffee things. One of those iced coffee things.
Yes.
This isn't the cocktail hour. That's on Saturday night.
It's my day.
Margarita.
It's my day off. It's Carol and I's day off, so it's
Yeah.
cocktail hour for us, man, all day
Mhm.
long. Okay, so after like I said, the parking lot, the greeted and seated, the cleanliness of tables, the place settings, promptness of being introduced to your wait staff. Has there anything that you guys disagreed so far? Is there anything that you have disagreed so far that maybe you've noticed that maybe I'm not putting on this list?
I can't think of anything
So
that I
far,
disagree
so far, because it's kind of like you're just glancing at it, right? You're just kind of glancing at these things quickly and processing it in your mind rather quickly.
with. Oh yeah,
Uh,
definitely. It's kind of like the general, and then it settles down into the local very quickly because you're at your table, and then what that's like becomes your whole world basically going forward. So
yeah,
then it's your
Yeah.
server in that table or booth.
mhm. And then here's where, like you said, like you just mentioned there, here's where it gets taken into this direction here. Then, all right, how long did it take from the time he or she places your or takes your order and puts it in? How long does it take? Christina says Goose should give a review of La Fiesta. No, I have a good friendship with the owners, so I'm not going to give my review of that quite yet. And that was a funny story. But did you guys hear this story? Maybe I'll tell this story to
All
end.
right.
Maybe I'll tell it to end the story. What actually happened? I'll tell what actually happened. But okay, so on with this, and we'll finish this, and then we'll get on to restaurant. Carl, did you get time to look at the restaurants of U.S. versus Europe and like the top 10 differences?
I have been working through that, but it hasn't been going very well.
Okay. I'll continue with this. Like I said, I only got a handful more, guys. I only got a handful more. Then we can continue on other conversations, like I got planned here, or like we just mentioned. All right. From the time that you received your menu, from the time that he or she has taken your order, how long will you accept to getting your food? Like, is 8 minutes from the time you? I mean, I understand you got to take in consideration how busy it is and whether the wait staff is short, short of wait staff or what have you. I understand you got to take all that in consideration. But how long is acceptable to you? Is 8 minutes from the time you placed your order and you saw her go over to the computer and put it in? How long is acceptable for you to then either receive your appetizer, your salad, your soup, a piece of bread? I mean, how long is acceptable for you? I'm not saying your meal necessarily, because we'll get onto that next, but how long is acceptable to you where you have something in front of you? Like I said, whether it be a piece of bread, be a salad, a soup, an appetizer, how long is acceptable to you? Because you guys both said that you're willing to wait 5 minutes from the time you get your menu and the wait staff comes over and gets your drink. So if you're willing to wait 5 minutes for your drink, how long are you willing to wait for that salad and the appetizer? Carl, I'll start with you.
How long am I waiting? I would say, I would give them even a little bit longer than that, really, because yeah, I'm pretty lenient when it comes to these sort of appetizer situations.
And
I'd
then
say 10 minutes, maybe
10
15.
minutes.
I'm feeling generous.
15 if it's busy, right? 15 if it's busy.
Oh, yeah.
Busy restaurant, then you can understand. How about for you, Cindy? What is the time that you're willing to wait? Is like you said, you're willing to wait 5 minutes if it's a restaurant's busy for water or coffee, whatever you drink. You're willing to
I
wait.
would say just depends on one thing, how hungry I am. That makes it worse, and that's not their fault. Then if you're hungry or you're hangry, you know what I mean? If you're really hungry, and then if I'm real hungry, then I break into the whiplash mode. I'm always like this. Where are they at? Where are they?
Do you give those looks, Cindy? Are you giving those looks to people all over the place in that restaurant? Are you giving them all over?
Oh, probably.
Making us nervous.
And the next thing I have written down, guys, is this, guys. Go in and wash your hands and check restroom. Well, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Pro tip.
You're right.
Yeah.
How often do you see people do that, though? Like, that seems to be gone by the wayside at this point. All right. Appetizer needs to come. Irene says appetizer need to come out quickly and can wait longer than 5 to 10 minutes. You know what? You're right. 10 to 25 minutes for food after appetizers. That you're right. But taking consideration, we're taking in consideration of short staff, right, guys? Nowadays, short staff. We're taking in consideration people don't want to work anymore. And we're taking in consideration of like you said, if the parking lot is full, well, then the restaurant's going to be busy and you're going to have to wait. You know that you're going to have to wait. So I would say patience is going to be key. But if you guys walk in and you see that the restaurant is dirty, like they haven't swept up, the counters are filthy, and there's napkins and such on the floor, and then you look over and you see most of the tables are the ones that are empty are dirty. At that point, are you guys saying, no, I'm out? I'm walking out of this restaurant. I'm not staying. At that point, are you guys saying, okay, I'm out? Either one.
So this is a hypothetical restroom visit, and then you see that the rest of the you emerge, and you see that the tables are all filthy, and you're like,
and you see that the ground is even dirty. Like there's napkins on the ground as soon as you walk in, and there's silver on the ground or whatever. You can see that they didn't sweep up. You can even see that the monitor at the greeter's desk is dirty, and the little desk area is dirty. And you see it. You see that the restaurant is dirty, and you see that the windows are filthy, and all the tables that are empty are dirty. At that point, if the greeter comes up to you and says, hey, how many in your table and your party? And we say the three of us, and then she sits beside a dirty table. Are you guys like, okay, I'm out at that point? Are you guys like, I'm out?
I would just say, I've got to bounce. Sorry. I'm out of this restaurant. I'm leaving. What about you, Cindy? Are you gonna take off?
I don't think I would stay either. I wouldn't stay either.
All right, So at that point,
Yeah.
you really wouldn't even go to the table. You wouldn't go to the table. At that point, it's like, okay, I'm not staying at this place. Lord knows how their food handling back there is going on back there, right? At that point, you're
Yes.
thinking, who's handling
Yes.
my food? Are they washing their hands? That's like I said, that's a good point. Are they washing their hands? Or I mean, if this place is dirty, who's running this place? Who's managing this place? All right.
Yeah.
So at that point,
Apparently,
you're
no.
saying I'm going to bounce, Carl and Cindy. You're saying I'm bouncing at this point. You're not
That's
waiting for
my,
the coffee.
that's where I bounce.
Okay,
Right.
here's another question. And with that, though, as I just mentioned, how long are you willing to wait from the time they take your order to the time you get something in front of you? Not coffee and orange juice or whatever you're drinking. Not that. I'm not talking that. I'm talking the time you get something in front of you. Let's say, like Irene was saying in there earlier, she was like, 5 to 10 minutes, we should have, our drinks and something in front of us to eat. Uh, what does it say, Squint? Yeah. It costs too much to go out to eat anymore, especially with several kids. Fast food is just as bad. Yeah, you're right. Would you guys agree with that? I mean, Carol, Cindy, you have grandkids. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
drive up wasn't any better. You sit there sometimes for 5 or 10 minutes, and they never had these little pullover lanes like they used to. I mean, you get there, get your food, get down. No,
Mhm.
go around the corner here and park here and wait for your food. Yeah, nah, it's not any better.
that
Mm,
is so
mm,
much the truth. Yeah. Plus, I mean, some of the prices on it depends on where you go. Some of the places are fine. They don't seem like they have faced inflation as much, but then other places it's like double what it used to be. So it's like, what's happening?
mm, hmm, hmm. All right, should I continue this list and then we'll go on to the Europe versus U.S. restaurants?
We're gonna, yeah.
And
Sounds
you've been
good.
working on that, sir? Are you working on that, or do you get
I'm trying
sidetracked?
to. I know some of them, but I am getting sidetracked a bit too.
Well, I'd like to talk about, and Cindy, if maybe you can help us too with that as well, because like I said, I forgot my phone. I'm like a goofball that forgets his phone, and it was the time I actually needed the phone, because I even had it all set up. I had the top 10 list of things that were different. I even had everything set up. I even had another list going for topics that I wanted to talk about. Anyways, okay. All right. So at this point, you guys had said that if the parking lot is full, you're bouncing. If the restaurant is filthy and the tables are filthy, you're bouncing, right? These are all things that we process right away, immediately, as soon as we walk in. So at this point, you're saying, I'm going to bounce. I'm going somewhere else, right?
Yeah,
We're all in
yeah.
agreement, right? We're all three of us are in agreement with that. Okay. All right. So then I guess the question again is, how long are you willing to wait, guys, for something to be put in front of you, be it soup, salad, bread, something to be put in front of you? How long are you willing to wait? I mean, she's already brought the waters to us, guys. The three of us are out. She's already brought the waters to us. She's already brought Carl's iced coffee. She's already brought Cindy's a barrel
Do I have
of
my
beer.
do I have my Coors
Barrel of
Light?
beer.
Do I
Yeah,
have my
yeah.
Coors Light? I can calm down a little bit.
Yeah, you're 96 ounces of Coors Light, and
Yes.
she's already got my margarita sitting in front of me, guys. All right, at this point, and she's already taken our order. She's already taken it. How long are you guys willing to wait until something is put in front of us? Like I said, bread, soup, salad, something is put in front of us. What is acceptable in your opinion? Before you're like, okay, well, there's another dollar taken off your tip. There's another dollar taken off. What is acceptable? Irene says we dropped 40 at BK once. What's BK? British
Burger
Nights.
King. Burger
British
King.
Night. Okay. And she says I feel like communication is key. I do too. And then Ray is saying I don't want to sit at a table with a lady drinking beer.
Uh,
Ray, you won that. You run that round.
Ray, you gotta leave the house before to see it, though, bud.
Yeah, you gotta
So,
leave the house before that gets going. But okay, so how long are you guys
yeah.
willing to wait? Seriously, how long? For me, I can wait maybe another 5 minutes. If it's busy, 10 minutes. There better be something in front of me. I'm telling you that right now. How long are you guys willing to wait? What is acceptable before something is put in front of you?
I'm gonna go. I was lenient before, so I'm gonna go 5 minutes now.
5 minutes. How about you, Cindy? What is before something is put in front of you? When are you going to
I can
start getting angry?
just, well, like if I'm hungry, it's probably 5 minutes. But if I'm not super hungry, it might go 10 minutes or a little longer. But like I said, if I got something to drink, makes it better. But it had to be something like a beer. I don't think a soda would cut it. You have something to relax you a little bit.
Relax you. Beer's filling too. Beer's kind of filling.
Yeah.
If you get a good couple sips in you, it's kind of filling.
Or margarita. That'll lighten your load too, I think. Yeah.
Well, that just makes you hungry. I mean, that makes me hungry. Margaritas make me hungry. So every time I'm having a margarita, it's just, well, let's face it, I'm having a margarita all the time. I'm not gonna lie. Except at work, though. Of course, sir. I don't drink at work. I mean,
that's the exception.
You think in Europe that's allowed? You think it's allowed to drink at work in Europe, like have a glass of wine in Europe? If we can look that up, guys. Okay, on to the next. Like I said, this is from top to bottom, from the time you pull up to the parking lot to the time you leave. These are things that we automatically think of, right? Are you guys texting back and forth about how ridiculous this list is? Is that what's going on here?
Who, where?
Look at Cindy. She is hiding a smile from ear to ear. You guys, you're lucky I don't have my phone today, guys. You're really going to get it as soon as I get home and I get all these messages.
The checks to your
I texted you all morning. Now I know why you didn't answer.
What's that?
I said I texted you all morning. Now I know why you didn't answer.
Yeah, I left my phone and I was out doing some errands and stuff. So, man, I left my phone. You know what? I carry around this Cubs bag. I'm sure you've probably seen it. My Cubs lunch bag. It never has my lunch in it. It's like my man purse. It's like my way of getting away with carrying a purse, to be honest with you. To be completely honest, it's my way of getting away with it. Like, people aren't going to question if I have a Cubs lunch pail, right? A lunch bag, right? They're not going to question. I'm like, oh, the guy's bringing his lunch with him. So that's exactly why I do it. It's like I can't be carrying around a bag, man. I'm not French. What am I? You know? So that's how I get away with it. Well, it has everything that you.
I am Lady Ray. Ray's giving me
What's
shit
he
again.
saying in there? Oh my god!
Ladies don't drink beer. Yeah.
Cindy chugs. It says
Cindy chugs.
I have done that too, but not usually.
Did you see what Irene says in there? Brad says in there.
Oh,
right after Ray says Cindy chugs.
I see that the bar horse do though.
Hey, they're the best kind. They don't say no. All right, then Belgians. That's funny. All right, moving on, guys. Let's finish this one, and then we'll move on to some other cool stuff, I guess. Oh, a cool thing, I guess. Okay, so after that, you're gonna wait up to 10 minutes before a piece of bread or something is in front of you. Okay. Okay. After you've done that, and then your food comes, right? After you got your soup, salad, whatever, and then your meal has come. At that point, what is the first thing you're thinking of as soon as you get your meal? What is the first thing that comes to mind as you get your meal? What's the first thing you've noticed?
To make sure it's all there. You got everything you ordered.
Whether it's cooked to temperature, right? Some things that you order have to be cooked to temperature the way you like it. Is it warm? Was it sitting up in my experience in IHOP? Remember that, guys, where I was, it was sitting up in the window for 30 freaking minutes. And are you taking notice? Are you guys taking notice of like people who come in after you have got your meal? Have you got? Does that take in consideration of your tip at that point too? Are you taking that in consideration? Yeah. Hey, 2 tables behind me just got their food that came in after me. Are you taking that in consideration?
Yes.
Yeah, you would have to take that into consideration, definitely, if you notice it.
And then how often?
If they drop your pizza on the floor.
And then step on it and then shake it up and then say, dude, here's your pizza, bro.
Oh, that terrible pizza. The nightmare pizza.
We had the same thing happen to us. They dropped it on the floors. We heard this little ding, ding, like a pan hitting, and Goose says, I think they dropped our pizza on the floor. And then she comes out and she says, hey, they're really backed up in the kitchen now. I don't know how much longer it was before we got our food.
Oh,
You know what though?
no.
Like
Yeah.
Irene was saying in there, she goes, "It might be the kitchen's fault," but I don't blame the kitchen for that. That is the wait staff that needs to handle that. I mean, once the kitchen makes it according to how they receive it, right? So what if the waiter or waitress didn't put our order in right away in the computer there? What if she didn't put it in right away? What if she waited and took the other people, sat at the other tables, right, that are sitting behind us, and then she put their
Yeah.
order in first, those three tables first, and then put ours in. So they're gonna cook according to the printout of what they receive, right? They're only gonna cook what they receive first. So if they receive, we're sitting in table 10 and in table 9, 8, and 7 got their orders put in first, then that's not necessarily on the cook. He's going to cook according to how he gets his orders, right?
That is a terrible wait staff issue.
Yeah. So in all of this, what I'm trying to say, okay, and as you're okay, I'll finish up and then we'll talk about that, I guess. All right, and then after that, you're going to do the taste test, right? As soon as you get is it cooked correctly? Is it cooked to temperature? You're going to do the taste test. You're going to find out if it's made properly. Is the food quality good? Of course. And then you're going to say, did wait staff ask if they can take your clear? Like, it doesn't bother you if they don't clear your table. Like if you're done with your plate, and you're supposed to push it off to the side there, or push it at the end of you're supposed to push it at the end of the table. Does that bother you that they're not clearing your plate? Does that either way with you guys? Does that bother you at all if they don't?
Not that doesn't bother me so much because they don't always do that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But when they drop your food and then they run away, they don't ask if you need anything else. You need other condiments or stuff for your food. Did we get everything? And then if you have, and if they didn't hurry and they hurried away, then you're waiting all that time. God knows when they're coming back.
Mm.
So.
And for you, Carl, does that bother you if they're not clearing your plates? Like if you're done, you're clearly done.
I think it's I don't know that it bothers me so much. I feel like sometimes I'm trying to help them out, but I don't know whether I'm actually accomplishing anything. So hopefully it's it works out and they take the plates away and everything's fine. But I'm not usually bothered by it too much if it's not rescued immediately.
Okay, if your table's not cleared, so that doesn't really bother you guys. That you okay. What if they don't, like, they're not clearing your plate? They're not clearing your table, okay? And then right away they didn't even ask you if you wanted dessert or another coffee or another fill up on your tea or whatever, and they just bring a check over to you right away and set it down. Would that bother you? Hey, look, you didn't clear my plate, you didn't fill my tea, you didn't ask if I wanted dessert or anything else maybe to take home. Would that bother you guys if they don't do those things?
I think that by the time it's ticket time, it's time to clear the table, probably.
You see what Brian says? Did you see what Brian says in there?
I was hoping you would notice.
You guys, if from now on, guys, if you guys read this before I do, because sometimes I don't always look at the chat room, I'm looking at notes and such. If you read it and you see something cool pop up, then please mention it to me.
What's this one say, Goose?
I don't know. It kind of bothers me a bit. Yeah, see, it does me. Carl pushes his plate on the table like a child. You push your table. I don't want this anymore. Get it away.
Yeah. Whenever they bring that ticket, the plates are leaving or they're getting pushed right off that table.
Yeah, but just because the blue, you're such a child. Just because they clear your plate doesn't mean you're done, right? That doesn't necessarily mean you're done, correct? You're not done necessarily, because what if the three of us are still talking and maybe we do want that key lime pie, or maybe we do want our coffee refreshed, and we want to sit and chat for a while. Oh, Brian, let it go with the Super Bowl boy bullshit. Let it go, man. It doesn't matter. You won the game, dude. You won the game, dude. It doesn't. And actually, Superboy was manufactured, dude. Depending on what story you're reading, Brian, Superboy was manufactured to be a clone of Superman, and it was Superman. The answer was Superman, sir. I'm sorry, but you won the game. I don't know what else to tell you, man. Let it go, dude.
Overachiever.
Really? I mean, he wants to win by 20, not 18. Apparently, I don't know what you're getting at here.
We still are on Saturday.
Apparently. Let it go, man. And Irene, didn't you actually give him the point for that too? Didn't you end up giving him the point?
It's not good
Yeah.
enough.
I mean,
Got the
Brian,
point.
let
We
it
need the
let it go,
notoriety.
dude. You won the game, Brian. You won the game. Let it go. You know.
Is he going to be on with you?
No, because I'm not gonna take that, dude. I can't take much of that, to be honest. I'm probably gonna hear it all day Tuesday, and I'm not looking forward to that. I'm just gonna say, Brian, let it go. Let it go. You won. I don't know what to tell you, man. My answer
Be
said
like,
Superman. I don't know what to tell you. And plus, Irene says, yeah, I did give him the point. Yeah. So you got the point, dude. Let it go.
it's like an old married couple. They just keep going at it.
Superboy drama.
It's crazy. My answer said Superman. Okay, the one that I was reading said Superman. Plus, the one book that I was reading said that he was Superboy was manufactured as a clone of Superman. Right? He didn't have all of his abilities. Did not have all of his abilities. Had some of them, but he was manufactured, and that was Superboy, the Superboy that I knew, plus the one that I was reading off of. Anyway, let it go, man. Moving on. Moving on. All right. So did the wait step ask? So did the wait
Yeah,
step ask? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
T says, I never win, even if right.
You know what? Someone else can host that show because I'm done. I'm done with it. I don't want to do it anymore. Someone else can host that show. I'm done with it. I want to continue working on Goose Troop, and I really enjoy this show. I really do. I'm done with that trivia nonsense. You know, someone else can host that damn thing and put up with that bullshit because I'm done with it. I'm done with it. Someone
Too
else,
much
the
pressure.
piggybacking the BS that goes on there. All the piggybacking answers that go on there, like Goose, I got that answer right. Yeah, you got that answer right after 10 people answered it, and I've already given the freaking answer. All right, that's how you got that right, jackass. I'm done with it, dude. Someone else can host that show, man. It's gonna be really popular. I told my brother, it's gonna be real popular, but without me, because I'm done with that nonsense. I'm done with it. I'm not gonna put up with it. Like I said, someone else can host it. It's going to be a really popular show. Whoever hosts it, it's going to be super popular, as it's getting popular and more popular each and every week. Someone else can host it. But Carol, I'd recommend you because you'd probably be a great host of that show, and you
I
could
don't
put up with that
know. That's
nonsense.
pretty stressful, Goose.
Yeah, I don't need to put up with that nonsense, man. It's just a fun little show. Okay, who gives a shit if it was
I like
Have a
Superman
margarita.
destroyed or someone wiped their ass
Restaurant.
properly? I don't really give a shit. Okay, I don't care. It's a fun little show.
Slow down.
Jeez. I'm fucking done with it, man. I'm fucking done with it.
All right. Come on. Next question. Let's
All
go.
right. I'm kind of
Yeah, we
done.
haven't escaped the restaurant yet. We're still having key lime pie.
I'll let it go if you stop talking about restaurants. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough, Brian. Fair enough, Brian. Fair enough. Okay. That's not a joke, though, Brian, when you keep texting me at like 20, 30 minutes after the game was ending. It's not a joke at that point. It's kind of harassment, to be honest with you, Brian. It was harassment. You don't need to fucking text me after that, okay? You won, dude. Get over it. All right. Yeah, I'm done with this. I'm done, dude. I'm kind of done. All right, with that. Okay. Where and how to pay? Like, if the wait staff doesn't say, "Hey, where and how to pay," would that anger you, or would that anger you? Be like, okay, how am I supposed to pay for this? How am I supposed to do this? Right? I mean, that's not a question that we as the customer should ask, right? That should be given information to us, just like where we're supposed to sit or whatever. Or our menu. Like, we shouldn't have to ask for our menu. We shouldn't have to ask. The things that we're asking for is a specific type of drink, a specific type of food, correct? I mean,
Exactly.
this is all stuff that should be given to us. A menu should be given to us. Silverware should be given to us. We shouldn't have to ask for this.
No, that's a given. You're gonna get that
Yeah.
stuff unless
Right.
your
Well,
wait staff is not on point.
Yeah, exactly. So that's like really what I'm getting at is like how much of the restaurant experience is based upon, like I said, the cleanliness of the place, the cook, the wait staff, and the manager. Like how much, like to me, all of this boils down to the wait staff, correct? Because the wait staff really represents everything that restaurant has to offer.
Oh yeah, they're your contact point for sure, and they can ruin your entire experience, like at IHOP.
Oh, my experience at IHOP, yeah, I can't
That
believe
was
you
wait
remember,
staff, right?
dude.
Was it
That
wait
was
staff?
completely wait. So that's what I'm asking is like, how
Mhm.
much of like, what percentage is the cook? What percentage is the manager? What percentage is the host and hostess? Like, versus the wait staff. To me, yeah, menus should be available at the table. I agree. Well, so should place settings as well, Steve. I mean, that should all be given to us. We shouldn't have to ask for that. I need a menu. I need a fork, right? I need a glass for water. That shouldn't be something I ask for.
Corey's so right.
What do you
Yeah,
say?
front of house can ruin the back of house real fast.
Yeah.
So true. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm guessing I want to know what I want to know from each of you is what is the percentage that you would put on that? For me, it's probably 20% cook, maybe 2% hostess, uh, manager only if there was an issue like cleanliness or maybe the rudeness of the staff, right? So that would put maybe 10% on management because sometimes you don't even see the manager, you don't need them. But for me, primarily, it would be 75, 80% of the wait staff, correct? That is what you're going in to experience is how the wait staff well, Steve says starts with proper training by management. Yeah, I agree with that. Steve. But as we know, as we know today, mm, is it? I mean, isn't it difficult training some people? You know what I mean? Like if someone's on their phone, right? Does that annoy you if you see your wait staff
Hey,
on
hey,
their
you told me to.
No, no, no. I'm no. I mean, as you're out to dinner, like as you're out to dinner, like
Are
you
you
know
the
what I
wait
mean?
staff? Where's my drink?
Yeah. Where's my salad, jackass?
I
Where's my
ruined
beer?
it. It's 80% on me.
Your beer. That's all you worry about is the beer. Is the beer cold?
The beer code.
Is the beer cold? Oh,
That
well,
that might be that might bring the tip up a little bit if it's cold, especially if it's a little icy. That's even better. Yeah,
You want ice in your beer?
I could have a little bit. It wouldn't bother me.
I mean,
If it's
ice
that
does.
cold that it was floating in there, yeah, that'd be all right. Yeah,
Ice
nice cold.
melts though, right? And by the time you get to the bottom, it melts, waters it down.
Oh yeah, but I wouldn't put it in there directly. I was just saying that somehow the beer got a little frozen. No ice, a little frozen.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
your beer was so cold it was actually frozen beer instead of ice?
Hmm.
That's
So
Yes.
that was
nice.
see that's something over in Europe that I found out with my top 10 list, as my sister-in-law was telling me. If you're in Europe, they don't have ice there. They don't like ice isn't put in your water. Ice isn't put in your your pop or whatever. It's like, and then you were telling me, Cindy, before we went on, is that things are served at room temperature, right? The beer is served at room temperature. It's not necessarily cold.
Well,
They don't
yeah.
even have like frosted mugs. They don't even keep
No,
frosted mugs.
I
We
don't think
we were
so.
over there in like 83 and 82, so things could have changed and progressed a little since when we were over there. And the beer was some places it was lukewarm. Sometimes it seemed like it was cold, but our favorite part was we finally got to a restaurant that actually had Coca-Cola, and these bottles were probably only 6 inches tall or less, and they were cold. I'm not kidding you. We slugged down four of them like they were air. Oh my God. It's like you've been drinking all this hot, warm stuff. It's like, bring me another one, you know? Oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah, I'm with
Yeah.
you. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Man, I must have hit the spot.
All right, so
Yes.
Carl, do you have us ready for top 10 differences of U.S. versus Europe in restaurants?
I
Do you
have a
have us
partial
ready?
list.
Okay, please go over them and we'll talk on each one. We'll
Right.
talk on each one.
Well, one of them was, of course, the lack of ice in beverages.
Now, see, that would bother me, Cindy, if I don't have ice. Now, some things I don't want ice in. I'll give you that. I don't want ice like in my beer. Like that's where we differ. I don't want ice in my beer. Whereas you said, a couple cubes, you wouldn't bother. right? You
I
wouldn't
don't
want.
know. I don't want the ice added to my beer. I want the beer frozen, so cold that it freezes. I'd like it that
Mm,
way. That wouldn't bother
hmm,
me.
That'd be refreshing. And
Yeah.
mm.
speaking of refreshing, not only do they not have ice, but apparently they charge for water.
What do you mean? They charge for a glass of water?
Say, pardon me, can I have some water? And they bring it to your table, $8. That'll be on your bill.
$8 for water?
Maybe I exaggerate, but and of course it'd be euros in Europe, but you know,
Yeah.
they would charge you for the water instead of it being free. In America, we just assume you can get water endlessly for free.
Yeah, we kind of do, don't we? We take that for granted. Would you say?
We do take it for granted.
Hmm.
So
All
much
right.
so that people have been surprised when they had to pay for water in European restaurants.
Yeah, I don't know that I would. I'd be like, no, I'm not paying for this. What are you talking about?
Well, I don't think that it's necessarily a thing where they let you know. I think you just ask for it thinking it's free, and the next thing you know, water on the bill.
Water on the bill. Yeah.
Water on the bill.
Yeah, because like you said, Americans we kind of take that for granted, so we wouldn't even think that would even pop in our mind, right? That wouldn't even pop in our mind that we have to pay for that.
There's been times where I had a glass of water sitting right in front of me at my restaurant, and I didn't even touch it. Now, if I had it in a European restaurant and it was an $8 glass of water, I'd say, "Wow, why should I drink that water? Because it cost me $8."
So if they're charging for water, would they also charge for ice cubes then?
I would think so if they had them, but apparently they don't have any ice cubes.
Oh, okay, okay.
Maybe they charge extra for ice cubes.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, it'd be a special luxury, I would assume, If they're already charging for water, if it's frozen, then I mean, that's extra work. So
Hmm.
apparently no dogs on leashes. Dogs are just roaming around.
You can't have dogs here, right? In America, I don't. Right?
You can have a dog, but this is like
not
in
in a
restaurant.
restaurant. You can have a dog at a restaurant, right?
Not here, no. There was one time I went to, and there was a dog in there, and they got shut down for that reason.
Because someone brought a dog in, and that's why the restaurant got shut down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh wow! But in Europe, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, there was a guy that really loved his dog, and he was making sandwiches, and the health department was like, no.
I think Irene is saying I think service animals are allowed. Well, that's different though, right? Like a service animal is allowed, so they can't be shut down for that, right? Because a blind person needs to be guided by the service animal or what have you, right? So in that case, then that is viewed as different, correct?
Absolutely.
Holly's saying there, yeah, service dogs are allowed, yeah.
This was just a regular dog, though.
That someone had brought in.
Yeah, I think he didn't, he was going to hang out with his dog all day while he was making sandwiches. Yeah, see, Irene says,
he brought his dog to work? What are you talking about?
Yeah, this dog was hanging out with the guy that was making sandwiches. They were just a duo. It was like Shaggy and Scooby back there making sandwiches.
A row. Yeah, so I can see why the restaurant got shut down then if that was the case. You can't have a dog in the kitchen, that's for sure.
No, you're slapping together somebody's salami sandwich, throwing a few slices to the dog. Here you go, buddy.
Yeah.
That's not okay.
That's unsanitary. You cannot. Yeah. What say you, Cindy? What say you?
About what?
What we were just talking about.
Dogs in the kitchen.
She's lost.
Dogs in the kitchen?
Cindy's still thinking about that. Cindy's still thinking about that ice cold beer, that Coors Light beer, right?
Coors Light, yeah. I don't think they shouldn't have dogs in the kitchen, but if it's like a restaurant, they're sitting outside. I don't see anything wrong with having your dog on the leash there. Something like outside, because they do that at Obed's and Isaac's and some other restaurants I've seen it at. It's an outside one. They let them do it.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that, but don't bring a vicious dog. If someone's gonna, what I mean. There's a line. Right. I don't mind if I'm sitting outside in the beer garden and you're bringing a dog that's friendly. walking
that's
around
fine.
and
Yeah.
walking around everyone's petting the dog. I've seen that where a dog walks around and everyone's petting it and what have you. If you're
Yeah.
bringing
As long as your
some
dog
dog that you gotta,
doesn't pee on anybody. I just thought of that. Poor bastard.
I did see a dog where a dog was walking around. Right, it was like I want to say it was like what was it? Labrador. It was one of those yellow Labradors, right? And it was walking around. The dog was just hanging out at some beer garden, and everyone was petting it, and it was going over to everyone, and then it peed on someone's shoe. I did see
Yeah.
that. It like
Yeah.
peed on someone's shoe, and I'm like, oh boy, there goes that
Uh-oh.
dog. The dog can't hang out anymore. But I
Yeah.
did.
Take
I
you
was like,
anywhere, pup.
that dog's not going to be able to hang out with anyone anymore.
No.
But yeah, I don't mind that if it's in a beer garden and the dog's friendly, walking over to everybody, everyone's petting the dog. That's cool, That's that makes for a fun atmosphere, though. If you got a nice little dog or cat that's walking over and saying hello to everybody, that makes for a nice atmosphere. Actually, it's comfortable, right? The first thing you think of,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
comfortable, it's nice, it's everyone's chilled out, no one's mean to the dog or anything,
Yeah.
Plus, that's a good way to meet chicks, right? If some pretty little girls going over and isn't this cute little Fido? I can go over and say, oh yeah, it's cute little Fido. I known Fido for
Goose
I
is going
saved him
around
from the
all
rescue.
smoke after
You
the
know what I mean?
podcast.
Yeah, it's my dog. I saved him from the rescue. So
Mhm.
that's a good way to meet some of those ladies, I bet. So I should just start bringing Chester with me then from now on.
Should
I'll
take
stop
Chester
bringing
everywhere.
Yeah, dude, I'll just start bringing Chester with me. Chester, you're coming with me, dude. We're going to the bars.
Going to bars.
Yeah,
Gotta hit the beer garden.
I'll give you some beer, even Chester. Can dogs drink beer? I mean, is that something they can have?
I don't think that they can.
I
They
wouldn't
can't.
think so.
They
I'm
can't.
sure they would drink it, but I don't think they should.
How about margaritas? Can dogs drink margaritas?
They have a hard time with the straw.
Getting that salt off the side. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's all off the rim. But all right, so on to the next. What are we on to? Number 3, number 4 on your list there, Carl?
Drinking age is usually 18.
In Europe, it is
Mhm.
18 in Europe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I thought it'd be even younger than that. But they start drinking younger than that, I think.
Yeah, it's way
bet-
more acceptable in Europe apparently than it is, and I'm not sure. Maybe it's because they have better mass transit situation than in America, so maybe it's a little bit less. I'm not sure what the drinking and driving situation is in Europe, but it seems like they have better access to mass transit, so maybe it's a little bit safer. Taking Chester is probably better than taking me, Goose. Steve
Well,
said.
you're not wrong about that, Steve. You're not wrong about that. I'll agree with you on that, Steve. I'll take you there. I'll agree with you there. No statement could be truer.
When I was 19, the drinking age was 19 when I was 19, but then they changed it that year when I turned 20. So I was legal for a year, and then I wasn't legal for a year. Then that's when they raised it to 21. Yeah.
Oh,
that is wild.
So you were only dry for a year from the time you were 19. You were dry for 1 year.
Well, you were supposed to be, let's say.
Carl, I'm going to go ahead and say that she did drink. I'll say that's the correct answer. What say you, sir?
Did you just stock up ahead of time?
Yes, at night, yes. Fill the whole room up with it just in case.
All right. So, and Carl,
That's
if you
a good
want to go
idea.
ahead. What's that?
That's a good idea about stocking up. I never thought about that.
I was going to say, Corey says there's a dog friendly brew. Now I remember. Actually, I've seen this at Hy-Vee.
Wait, there's a beer that they make for dogs, specifically
Doggy
for
beer.
dogs?
Apparently.
What the heck?
I know, you're gonna have to check it out. I think I saw it on an end cap at Hy-Vee.
What are you talking about?
I could swear I've seen dog beer. I've seen it. And Corey says
buying it. I'm
Busch
not
Light
buying
has
it.
a dog friend. You just said you were going to a minute ago. Now you kind of have to. You made Chester promises on the podcast.
No, I meant like I'm not buying that there's dog beer. I'm not buying it.
I don't know.
How can they make beer? You just told me that dogs. You two just told me dogs can't have beer. So how can they make like it's not good for their system? You guys just got done telling me. So how can they make beer for dogs if they can't have it?
I don't know, Corey. You got any idea how they make this dog beer?
Although you
perchance?
know what I heard too is that doggies can't have rawhide, but yet they make a bunch of that stuff out of rawhide. Like, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't it like bloat their
It's
like?
their intestines. Intestines. Yeah. I
Yeah.
wouldn't. Yeah.
Hope
I
can't
don't.
have.
I don't, hope don't get rawhide.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, I bet not. Yeah, I bet not. I bring little Chester these little biscuits, like these little cookies made for dogs. I bring him like these cookies made for dogs. It's shaped like a bone, and then I bring him that, and he seems to like it. He really does. He seems to like it.
I'll sometimes give Hope a treat, and if she can't eat it all for some reason, or she's decided she's going to save it for later, she'll run all over the house like she's half crying, going to go hide it somewhere, and then she'll look back at me and think, "Oh, I think she saw me. She knows where it's at." Then she goes back.
Oh, and
Oh,
they're saying beer can be made of different grains, which is how different beers taste differently, right? I mean, it's
Mhm.
it's all about the grains, not necessarily the alcohol content in it. It's all about the grains, right? And
All about the grains.
there you go. Why don't we do it? Why don't we do a podcast next week of beer, of just beer?
Just beer?
Yeah, what do you think, guys? And then we
are
we
we bringing
sample
beer?
we
Are
sample
we
some
bringing
beer.
beer with
Is
us?
your beer flavored coffee? Is your coffee flavored beer? Do they
Hmm.
make coffee with beer? Like, can you
I'm sure
have
they
that?
do.
Huh.
I'm sure there's coffee flavored beer.
Dogs act like toddlers. Well, you're true about that. You're right about that. Sometimes they do.
Sometimes they act like old men too.
You know what
Yeah,
we should do
old men
next week is I should have. What do you mean? They act like old men. What do you mean?
crotchety and grumpy, and
Well, then they act like me because I'm getting. The older I get, the grumpier I'm getting.
yeah.
I don't have patience for bullshit anymore. I really don't. I don't have patience for bullshit no more. And that's the thing I've noticed too. Is I got noted like I mentioned to you guys. I carry a basketball in my car, but I couldn't tell you how long since it's been since I've ever used it. It's probably went flat now.
Maybe you need to get a pump to pump it up.
No, I won't ever do that. To be honest, I won't. I know that I keep it in there as a reminder of like what I used to like and what I used to love, but anymore, I think
What else you got
think
in
this
there?
is. I think this is an accurate statement. Tell me if you disagree with this statement. I wrote this down. Is motivation lost as you age? Motivation, is it lost as you age? Is that an accurate statement? Would you say that's accurate, or would you say that's inaccurate?
Depends. I'd say
Is
no.
You would say
I
no,
also
not
agree.
necessarily. You would say it's not.
I don't think
No.
I don't think it is.
Because there's certain things that can get you remotivated. You get older and maybe you don't want to do things in a while. Well, then you get the grandkids or you get other things in your life that makes you think, maybe I'll give this a try again, or start something new because it just got introduced to you, gives you the motivation to do it.
Yeah, I used to love playing basketball. Nothing took my mind away off of problems or issues or whatever the case may be. I used to enjoy it so much. Like I said, I haven't picked up a basketball in years. It's still in my car. It travels with me everywhere I go. But now it's just a reminder of what I used to be. Like, as I get older, I'm like, no, I don't want to play basketball anymore. That's a lot of work chasing that ball around. That's what I keep thinking about. It's like, it's a lot of work chasing that ball around. I don't want to do that.
So you just keep it in there to make you feel sad.
Oh my God.
Carl, you're a red bastard. You are a red bastard. You're an asshole. You know that? You're an asshole.
Is it the only thing you got in your car? That's what I'm wanting to know. Is it just the basketball or is there other stuff?
Is there other stuff that keeps like reminding me of my youth, kind of?
Yeah,
Yeah, there's something
yeah.
else I keep in there. Yeah, there's something else, but that's in the trunk.
It's kind of like
Oh
one of those
my
arm
God.
bracelets or something. All those things, collection of things that you like. basketball.
Although Brian says when it comes to work, it does, because you realize you do not get paid to be more motivated. Well, that's true though. That's true though. I mean, you are getting paid, so you go to work and do the best job you can. That's more of a question of like, uh, again, well, that's more of a question of like, uh, your morality or your integrity, right? Because if you're going to work just to collect a paycheck, like we were just talking about, like some of this wait staff that just go to you can tell all they want is their tip, and they want to go home. You know what I mean? They want to make their $50 that day and go home, right? I mean, that's really what it boils down to. What we were talking about, right?
Kind of depends on what is behind the motivation at your job, or your motivation is to maybe want to just get done and get out of there. It depends on what it is. If you get certain rewards maybe along the way for doing a good job, that might be a motivation. Other than just money, it doesn't have to be just money. You could move upward.
We don't work because we want to. I mean, I can say that I don't work because I want to. I don't want to have to work. I do it because I have to. I mean, I don't want to just drink water, 4 or 5 glasses of water every day. I do it because I have to. My body needs it in order to function. You know what I mean? And I get. Am I wrong? Am I right? Am I wrong, guys? I mean,
I guess it depends on if you like your job or not. That'd be more of a have to.
Well, that's true too, Brian. That's true too, Brian. That's the truth. Would you say that's accurate statement?
That's true.
Wouldn't you say that's accurate statement too, Carl? Would you say what he just said is an accurate statement as well?
What did he just say, so that people that aren't reading the comments know what he said?
Well, why don't you read it, kind sir? You piss head. Wait, you piss head.
Get higher. Oh, there you go. Look at that.
Okay, in the old days, you used to get
higher praise based on your work performance. So used to be more motivation. Now it seems like everyone makes the same 3% raise.
Regardless, let's say, I mean, I'll go ahead and admit it. I'm probably one of the worst ones on the team. I'm newer, so I have a lot to learn with you guys to catch up to you and Brian and your knowledge. I have a lot to learn before I can catch up with that. But so I'll go ahead and say it. I'm probably lower on the totem pole, whereas you guys are higher, correct? That's an accurate statement, where you and Brian are higher, correct? That's accurate?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you don't have to say it so...
I didn't say it that way. I was just like, okay, sure. If that's what you said. Say,
I mean, what did this pisshead say to me? What did he just say to me?
You're getting really British now.
Oh, but you said pisshead isn't an insult, though. In Britain, you said in Britain, it's not an insult. Pisshead is not an insult.
I don't know whether it is or not. I couldn't really tell. I was like, is that like I don't know. It was just something that jumped out at me. I was like, that's not something an American would say, that's for sure. See, and I had no idea what they're talking about.
Steve's agreeing with it. He says, I totally agree with that statement. Yeah, I do too. I mean, so this is what I'm saying. You have to go to work, right? You have to go to work. So that's something you have to do in order to live. Okay, to pay bills and what have you, right? And okay. Corey says 3% raise. Wow. Where do I sign up?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, but like you have to drink water. Your body needs water throughout the day. It needs it. Otherwise, you will not be healthy. Like you need vegetables. I know some people don't like it, but you do need them. Your body needs the nutrients and the vitamins it gets from it in order to survive. So those are things that keep people healthier, as healthy as humans can be in today's world, right?
That's true. Yeah.
All right. So vitamins, water is healthy nutrients for your body that your body just needs and it craves, whether you like them or not.
Have it, yes.
Yeah, fruits, whatever. But here's what I was thinking of. Like I said, as I was driving over, I wrote this down, and I was at a stoplight, and I wrote that down. I was like, yeah, I agree with the statement totally. Is like, okay, is motivation lost as you age? I think yes, it is. I don't have the same desire to play basketball anymore. I love it. I still love the game and watch it. I don't have the motivation or desire to play it anymore. Like I said, I don't want to chase around that ball anymore. I don't want to run up and down the court anymore. I don't. That to me just seems like a lot of work, unnecessary work, that I don't have to do anymore. Like, I don't want to do it anymore. So
You never
what?
had to do it though. You wanted to do it. It makes a difference.
Yeah, but now I
Yes.
don't want to. I don't want to do that anymore.
It's like Irene said way back in the comments somewhere. I'm scrolling.
Mhm.
Your priorities change. You have a different perspective on things. So perhaps you find
No,
different
I just
things more of a priority.
you know what I want to do now is
What do
all
you
I
want
want
to
to
do?
do is binge
Have some fun.
watch TV shows and things like that. Like, I don't have a desire to get out and do shit anymore.
This
I
is a
don't need to
very
do
philosophical episode of Goose Troop.
that. Is it really philosophical, or are you going to say
Yeah.
something wise ass like, Goose, you've really gotten lazy? Why don't you go ahead and
I'm
say that?
just
'Cause
saying there's nothing more philosophical than do you still have the same level of motivation as you used to? What do you
do you?
find important
Well,
in
I'll
life?
ask the both of you. Do you still? I'll start with you, Cindy. Do you still have the same motivation now as you did when you were 30, as you were 40? Do you have the
I think
same motivation now?
I think it's directed to other areas, than what I had back then. My motivation was more or less, go to work, maybe do a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's have other things that my motivates me is to do things with my grandchildren. It gets
Yeah.
me up and out of bed. Yeah,
There
do
you
things.
go. Shifted priorities.
So
They
your
change.
motivation has changed because now you have grandchildren, and therefore you get up and do crafts and take them different places
Right.
for them, not for yourself, but for them.
No, it's for both of us. They enjoy it. I enjoy it.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. So you enjoyed it as much as they do. Like, you enjoyed putting smiles
Sure.
on their faces and
Oh,
seeing
yeah.
them do different things.
I like the crafts. I like painting and doing stuff like that. I go right
Yeah.
along with them. Make the cookies. That's why my granddaughter said the last time. She said, "Next time, Grandma, let's do something we can eat." So yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's true. What say you, Brian? For this show, I'm just gonna call you Pisshead. What say you,
Call me
Dor?
Brian.
How about
First it
Dor?
was Brian. Now it's Pisshead. What's it going to
I
be
mean,
next?
what was I calling him? Brian?
Brian
Wow.
Pisshead.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean
Oh
that.
my God.
I didn't mean that at all. Ray says you enjoy booze. Is that an accurate statement? Do you enjoy? I mean, not that you're a wino or a booze or an alcoholic, but do you enjoy drinking, having a glass of beer? Like, is that enjoyable for you? For you, Cindy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, sure. Why not?
So again, your interest have been your motivation has been switched then as you got older.
Switch to enjoying beer, or when did I not like it? Maybe
Well,
when I was younger.
That was
when you
that
were
one year
20 and you weren't
couldn't
supposed to
stop
drink
though.
it, when you were 20, you weren't supposed to drink it for a year until you turned 21. That's when you were not supposed to enjoy it.
I wasn't supposed to enjoy it.
Legally, no. Not when you were 20, no. When you were
Oh,
19, yes. When you turned 20, no. When you turned 21, yes.
yes. I think it tasted the same. It didn't change.
That's not the question I asked. That's not the question I asked. Hey, Carol, are you going to have to give me the cowabunga sign soon?
Oh, actually, yes. I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention. It's a good thing you said that. I wasn't paying attention to the time. I was looking at all these European fun facts about the restaurants.
So how
Hey,
much time
they don't tip. You don't have to tip in Europe. It's important.
Yeah, that's what my sister-in-law said. They said that you don't
I
have
like
to
that.
tip there. So that must mean they pay him a little more than they pay him here, obviously.
Obviously, yeah. It's a whole other situation with the tipping. So
So are restaurants more expensive there? Like to go get
no,
uh,
not really.
a sandwich out there, a turkey club sandwich out there is going to be a little bit more pricier than here, maybe because you don't have to tip the waiters or waitresses.
Nope. I mean, not dramatically. Especially not in England because their currency crashed about a month ago. So you could go get a lot of turkey sandwiches there right now.
Hmm.
You'd be doing great. The American dollar is strong currently.
Can you give us a few more before you have to go, sir? Maybe a few more on the list. We'll finish the list. Maybe
Ooh,
just give us a few quick ones before you have to go.
seven.
So no tipping, no ice. They keep beer warm.
Yes, to keep your beer warm. There's no ice. Water costs money. No tipping. Some places have, most places probably have no AC.
They don't have air conditioner there.
No, it's not very common in Europe.
What do you mean not very? What the hell are they talking about?
I don't know. Apparently, they don't have air conditioners.
It gets warm there, correct? I mean, it gets warm there.
Not as hot as it does in the United States. I think that we have, we have a lot more southern states, probably.
Mm-hmm.
I think Europe doesn't have, like, especially England, they're unused to these, warm summers that they've been having recently. Oh, Brad, Brad, I'm confused. Irene also says it's not as humid.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Paying with cash in most places. I was gonna say earlier, do you use contactless paying at all?
I do. Yeah, all the time.
Nice. I like that a lot.
So they use cash over there.
Yeah, apparently they do.
I wonder if that's an option. Is it an option to swipe your card? Is that an option?
It might be in some places, but I think a lot of places they expect cash.
Yeah, see, one of the things too is like I was looking up too is like they don't rush you out the door. They're not giving you your check right away. They don't care if you just come in for a biscuit and a coffee and sit for 5-6 hours. They don't care. And actually, you have to flag them down in order to get your check. Like you flag them down and say, "Hey, I'm ready for my check." They don't care if you sit there for 5 or 6 hours and just have a biscuit and coffee. They don't care. I'm like,
Corey,
that is probably one of the
Corey's got a
biggest
good one.
things.
Corey says in Europe the tax is included in the price. Now that is awesome.
What do you mean? The tax is already included?
Yeah. So you just go in, you see the price, that's what it is. You don't have to worry about there being like a tax at the end.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay.
That's wonderful.
Okay.
That's a great idea.
All right. So any more before we end this show and then you have to go and do your errands, sir?
I think that's the end of my list.
What room is he in?
An extra one.
What room is he in, Cindy? We'll end with what room he's in, as we always do. Like you said, I've seen the window. That's by your fireplace, right? Just to the left of you is your fireplace over here. Wait. Over here.
Fireplace.
Yeah.
And then my dining room's over there.
And that is your dining room. Okay. Have we seen the dining room before?
I've been in it.
Is that built in?
What's up?
That mirror back in there, is that all built in or is that a separate piece?
That is not built in. It's a separate piece.
Oh, wow.
I don't think you've seen the mirror before or my that thing.
The chandelier thing, yeah.
Modern looking chandelier thing. We put that in. That's
Have you been to the side of it? Like
I've been over this way in my dining room, and I've been by where the mirror is. That's where my pumpkins were and stuff like that.
Oh, that's where you were.
Right.
On this direction, that's where those weird paintings were, where it was like, what's that black thing on the wall? And I was like, oh, it's supposed to be a coffee cup.
Yeah.
So I've been in there 3 times, but it looked like 3 different rooms.
I like how pointing is just horrible. We don't know directions at all.
We'll get it figured out.
I remember the pumpkins, Irene says. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us today on another Goose Pinch, a Pinch, and a Squeeze, or as we like to call it, Goose Troop. And then we still have to decide on whether did I send you guys, after all, the logo, maybe the logo that we might switch to? Did I send you guys that or show you guys that?
I approved it. What do you think, Cindy?
The one with the hats? That one?
Yeah. That say Goose, Carl, and Cindy, yeah. And we're all the same size. None of us are like goslings.
Oh, I thought you looked bigger.
I thought we were all like the same size, and we all had like heads that said Goose, Carl, and Cindy. You know, they should say, do we want to stick to the Dorothy? Oh, you probably got to go, Carl. All right, I'll just say goodbye, buddy.
Thanks, Corey. Said bye, guys. Good show.
Thank you, Corey. I appreciate that, buddy. I appreciate that. We try our
Me
best
too.
here. At
We
least,
try.
at least, at least some of us try our best, right, guys?
Yeah.
Right. We were all trying our best.
You were
Googling
trying.
frantically.
You were trying to insult me all show, sir.
No.
Very well
not even
done, sir.
once.
Very well done, sir.
You're a philosopher.
I am not a philosopher of what? Of
Philosophy. What else?
Of BS. All right, guys. I thank you so much, Cindy. I thank you. I'll talk to you this week sometimes. Although we didn't get a chance to go to a restaurant last week, and maybe we can critique some of the restaurants that we've done, Cindy. That were places that we've been. Carl, I
I
see
had-
you at work, sir.
All
I
right.
tried to write them all down, but I don't know if I got them all or not.
How many we went to? 5 of them, I want to say. 5
I
different.
came up with 7, I think.
Oh wow, we went
And
to
I'm not
7
sure if
different
that's
places.
all.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I got them all. I tried to make sure. I was scrolling back, but I know we've been to 7.
All right, guys. I'll leave you with the cowabunga.
Cowabunga.
Cowabunga, guys. All right, cowabunga, guys. All right, bye, guys. Thank you for joining us today. Everyone in the chat room, thank you so much. I appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Next week, same channel. If I can figure it out and not goof up again with all the IT problems I had today. All right, let's get out of
Just
here.
put Rain there next to you and get signed on, and then we're ready